Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, so let's revise a bit about one of your essay, task 2, which is the opinion-based essay. Right, so the main purpose of this video is to have a revision about one of your EPT essay, which is opinion-based essay. I think this is very important because you have not been writing any task 2 essay with me for quite some time now. I think it has been like 3 months. Right, so this lesson, I believe, is very important. Right, so we will start with compare and contrast essay, but before we looked at compare and contrast essay, let's look at the important things that you need to understand before writing the essay, right, which is the pre-writing period. So before you start writing the essay, just like what I told you before, it is very important for you to understand the question. Now, what does it mean by understanding the question? First of all, you need to determine whether the essay is a compare or contrast essay or a cause and effect essay. We will look at that into detail later on. Right, for EPT in UA, we only test you on compare, contrast, or cause and effect. Right, so once you determine which one is which, then you have to brainstorm the points. So here you can list down as many points as you want that you deem is suitable for the topic, right? But it is important for you to just only use 2 main ideas, right? Because the essay is around 250 words. You have to also make sure that the main ideas are different points, because you have, if you still remember, your essay only have 4 paragraphs. Let me add in another slide. Right, so you have the point form. You have the introduction, the body paragraph 1, and body paragraph 2, and lastly is the conclusion. Okay, so it doesn't mean that you can only write in 4 paragraphs, but it is highly recommended for you to just write in 4 paragraphs, just to make things easy, because writing another paragraph will consume more time. So I don't recommend at all you to write more than 4 paragraphs, right? And then it should be a minimum, and it should be only 4 paragraphs. Right, so because you have 4 paragraphs, the 2 main ideas which will be explained in body paragraph 1 and body paragraph 2 should be things which are different from each other, because you don't want to overlap the same discussion in paragraph 1 and paragraph 2. The reason why you have 2 different paragraphs is because you want to differentiate, or you want to differentiate 2 different points about the topic. Right, so let's look at the introduction first. Right, so just like, if you still remember, there are 2 main elements that are needed in the introduction. The first one is the general statement, and the second one is the thesis statement. Right, so let's look at this as an example. Just look at the introduction part. Okay, as you can see here, this is a cause and effect essay. So let's not look at this, let's look at compare and contrast. Right, so compare and contrast. This is an example of a, okay, this one. This is an example of a compare and contrast essay. Okay, why is it compare and contrast? Because we have the topic asks you, men make better chefs than women. So we have two points here, or two different subjects here that need to be compared about, right? And then we compare men and women on whether or not they are better chefs, right? So we use this essay as an example for our lesson. Alright, so general statements can be written in 4 different manners, right? So it can be written in, if you remember, we've learned this in class before, it can be written in a general to specific method, where you start with something really general and then you move on to something which are much more specific, right? So the first sentence is a very general sentence, and then the second sentence will be something a bit more specific than the first one, and then the third and following sentence will be more specific, and the last sentence, which is the thesis statement, is the most specific sentence in the introduction. Okay, if you look at this essay here, okay, the first sentence, although cooking has always been associated with women, it is not the case when cooking becomes a profession. More men are now taking up cooking as a professional career, or in other words, becoming a chef in restaurants. So the first sentence is a general sentence, and then the second sentence is something which is more specific, and then the last sentence, which is the most specific sentence in this introduction, is the thesis statement, right? Or you can use the set the scene method. Set the scene method, if you remember, you start off your introduction with a story or a news that actually happened, that really happened in regards to the topic. The problem solution method, I don't think it is suitable for the compare and contrast essay, because the compare and contrast essay requires you to compare 2 different subjects. Problem solution method is a method used if your essay wants you to find a solution to a problem. And lastly, the definition method is when you start with a definition of a term in your introduction. Okay, this is used when you face with a topic or that contains words that is not easily understood by the public. Just like if you write an essay about euthanasia, right? So it's better for you to start with defining what euthanasia is first. Okay, so you start with some general statements. I write it in at least 2 sentences, right? And then the last sentence will be the thesis statement. So what is a thesis statement? Okay, a thesis statement is a statement that will tell your readers what the whole essay is about. Right? The thesis statement must contain the main ideas. Right? And then the main ideas must be concise. What does concise mean? It must be precise or short, or be explained in brief. Right? Do not elaborate or do not explain yet, because all the elaboration or explanation would be done in the body paragraph, right? And then one thing that needs to be addressed is that you should not start your essay with the thesis statement, right? Otherwise, because if you start your introduction with the thesis statement, the flow of the ideas would be awkward. It will be specific to general. Okay, alright. So if you look at this introduction here, we can see that we have some general statements, and then finally we have the thesis statement. Okay, the thesis statement contains the main idea or the subpoint. Okay, so if you look at this example here, Men make better chefs than women. It says here, according to this author, men do make better chefs. Why do they make better chefs? Because they are physically, mentally, and emotionally fitter to handle the job. Alright, so I don't agree that much with this nature of the thesis statement, because it looks like it has three main ideas: physically, mentally, and emotionally. Right? So maybe you just have to only have two main ideas, then it will be perfect. Right? Don't explain yet. Just make it as concise as possible, as short or brief as possible, because all this will be explained later on in the body paragraph. Alright, so I guess that's it for the introduction. We'll see it again later on in our lesson on the body paragraph. Thank you very much.